Um, what have you learned about Marcus Simeon?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've learned anything because he's everything I heard.
Which is,
Which is he's the consummate teammate, worker. Um, just a tremendous guy that shows up every day and gets his work in, and also he's a leader in that clubhouse, getting guys to follow him. So it's been all that I've heard about him.
what did you heard about his routine and his preparation?
Well, that's what I heard. He's got his routine preparation. He doesn't deviate from it. He's relentless with his work ethic. Wants to play every day. He doesn't want any days off. It's just who he is, and so it's this way he's been here. He's been great.
You've done this a long time, many spring trainings. After the hiatus, has this one felt different?
Um, I guess in this respect, because the rules are a little different, so it's adjusting to that. But I'll be honest. Once the game started, it's the same game, even though things have been tweaked a little bit. But so when I first got here, it was a little bit of a surreal feeling because I'd had 3 years off, and so just landing in Arizona, driving here, coming in the clubhouse. But once we got things going here, it was pretty much business as usual, and we're still doing pretty much the same type of stuff that we were doing with a few adjustments here or there.
What have you seen from Nathaniel defensively at first? I know you weren't here last year, but from what some of the coaches have shared with you, in what ways has he grown defensively?
Yeah. No, he's been really flawless over there. If you look at his spring, he hasn't had a whole lot of action, but I know that's an area that he's talked about. He wants to just continue to get better. He's worked hard at it, and I heard even last year as the season went, he got better and better, and that work has continued here. I know, both Rags and Bees have been spending a lot of time with him, and so, I don't, for me, you hear things, but you still want to form your own judgment, whatever. And he's been really good over there.
When it comes to defensively, how much do you weigh, I guess, the eye test versus some of those advanced analytics, like defensive run save and outs above average, things like that?
Yeah, how much? Um, I mean, I think you have to look at numbers, but I'm not all in on the defensive stuff, metrics. I don't think they're 100% accurate, to be honest. I do believe in the eye test, and particularly with players that you see a lot, your own players. I just don't think they, have a way to be 100% on how they determine the metrics on the guys. So I do think you have to trust yourself in your eyes, and so. But you still have to look at them, I think.
So do you think Nathaniel is better than the metrics suggest? I guess the ones that are public to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just haven't seen any reason not to think that he's not going to be a really good first baseman. Now, I wasn't here, but I heard that was an area he needed to work on, and it's evident that he's done that. Again, he hasn't had a lot of action over there, but even in the fundamentals, watching him and everything, he looks confident. He's doing all the things you want your first baseman to do, and including the game awareness, where to throw the ball, and things like that.
So I shouldn't quote defensive run save. You don't want me to quote that? No DRS talk.
You can quote it. Yeah. I mean, how can they? I mean, really, be 100% on that stuff.
I don't know that you can adhere to it religiously, right? But I think it also does serve some kind of like, it's just a general impact.
Right, journals look probably a little bit of a base, but yeah, still.
Um,
Um, I mean, you have to look at track record. I mean, it's got to play a part. I mean, I've had 25 spring trainings, and I've been fooled a lot. Not just me, but you can, because some guys come in more ready. Some guys come in from playing winter ball. So that comes into play. I think you you do bear down. At this time, the last couple of weeks are when you really focus in. But still, you can't forget about what they've done. There's some guys just aren't good spring training players. Some are really good. I've had guys come in and never make it out. They make their club, and then they get that upper deck and those bright lights, and then they're different players. So but still there's usually a spot or two where this spring training plays a big part in it, and I'm being honest, it does. Because you want to break camp with, you say your best players, but the guys who are playing the best at that time, and that last spot or two that could come into play.
the star of this camp for you.
Well, we have a little thing. We give the fungo. We give the special fungo to the coach of the day. So Lucky got it from me today, our trainer. So, but to be serious, I think, there's some guys doing really well. Josh Young's had a good spring, young guy. I think you look at Cole, what he's been doing. Reagan's. They've just had really nice springs, and the veterans have played very well too. So and catchers, I love the job they're doing behind the plate. So I don't want to pick out one person, but those guys have all done a great job.